What's going on YouTube? My name is Ron King. Back with you yet again with one more video. The topic of today's video is communication within the workplace and how to create and maintain better communication within the workplace. Now, as far as communication goes, the first step to better communication is active listening. Active listening means that you're actually listening to what the person is saying to you. And this can be misconstrued and this can be messed up when emotions get involved. This can be misconstrued when people want to prove a point or get something across and they don't actually listen to what someone else is saying about the issue at hand. So an example of this would be if you went to your boss asking for, let's say you were asking for a raise. You say you were asking for a $10,000 raise or whatever. When you go to your boss and ask for that, you need to make sure that it is an open conversation. You don't want to just lay your demands on the table and then not give them any room to speak on the conversation. You want it to be an open conversation between two parties who are trying to actually work something out and get something done. So rather than going in there and being very demanding, and I mean, obviously you want to go in there confident and not timid and in a way that you wouldn't get what you want, but you don't want to go in there trying to be one-sided, trying to almost manage your manager. You don't want to do that. You want to go in there and you want to be clear about what you want, but you also want to listen to what they have to say. So being an active listener in the workplace will help you to get what you want, because after you actively listen to what someone is saying to you, you can make a proper response to what they have just said. And I know it can seem kind of basic, but actually applying that skill is a great step. It's a great first step in creating better communication. The next step to better communication is being clear and concise with your diction and how you're speaking. And this can be a problem, being clear and concise, when you're using a lot of words that you don't need to use. People who say and a lot, those are not clear and concise communicators, because they have all these filler words in there that aren't necessary, and they take away from the main idea of what the person is trying to say. And so if you can become more clear and concise with your communication, it will be a lot easier for people to understand you, so that whatever you guys are communicating about, it can be resolved quicker and faster, and you guys can get back to doing your job. Another step, another tip in good communication in the workplace is that you want to use vocabulary or diction that the person you're speaking to actually understands. So an example of using words that people wouldn't understand is when the IT guy comes to fix your computer and he asks you questions about the computer that you don't even know the answer to. Such as, okay, so what does this process do on your computer? You know, how fast is the RAM on this computer? You know, different things that people that are in the IT field wouldn't understand. So a better way to go about it is to use words that people will understand. So instead of saying, you know, what is the RAM on this computer? You could say, how much memory does this computer hold? Something like that. That would, you know, that the person would understand, so that they can give you the response that you're looking for. I know I already covered being concise, but I wanted to go back to it for a second because I realized that I missed something. You see, when being concise, it's very important to be concise, because there's a lot of people that speak in a very roundabout way and they don't get to whatever they were wanting to speak about in a clear and concise manner. They kind of meander around and they kind of beat around the bush and they don't say exactly what they want to say. And in doing this, they're basically trying to get the other person to understand in an implied way without them actually saying what they want to say. And this can lead to some big miscommunication. I see this a lot, especially between men and women. So men, very well, they really do enjoy clear and concise and direct communication. Women are more indirect with their communication, and this can create a lot of problems in the workplace because maybe there is a miscommunication about exactly how something was supposed to be done. You know, maybe because someone said that they wanted done in such and such a way, but they weren't very specific about what they wanted, and therefore the person who was supposed to do the job, they did it in that way, but they didn't get all the details because the person communicating wasn't very detailed in what they wanted to say, and they didn't speak in a direct way. So in the workplace, it's very important to be direct in your communication so that there's no room for error, no room for misinterpretation in what you're saying. So if you're more direct in what you're saying, you can definitely become a better communicator within the workplace. And the last tip that I have for communication within the workplace is just being a likable person, being a person that is approachable and easy to get along with. You see, it all has to do with your demeanor. If you walk around like, no one can touch you, and, like you just don't want to speak to anyone, it's going to be hard to communicate with you in the workplace. If you walk around and you have maybe you have a smile on your face, maybe, you just walk around with this bounce in your step and this aura that tells people, I'm a friendly person, and I'd be glad to speak with you about whatever it is. Okay? So really thinking about your aura and what you're presenting to the world will allow you to create better communication in the workplace, because the way that your aura is what people are going to present you with. They're going to match that energy. So if your aura is very unapproachable, maybe arrogant, people will not want to approach you because that's what they're thinking about you. They're thinking, oh, this person doesn't want to be talked to, so I'm going to just leave them alone. So that's something to think about, and it's something that can be overlooked for a lot of people, especially if they lack self-awareness. It's hard for them to step outside of themselves and so that they can see what they're presenting to the world. So that's something to keep in mind when trying to communicate better in the workplace. And that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel for related business content. As always, my name is Ron King. Have a great day. Peace.